Welcome to Toni Unleashed, the podcast where we unleash the truth about all things pets.
Our research and anecdotal evidence matched with pet expert interviews will help you help your pet thrive.
We are here to answer questions, divulge information, and spread awareness about what's really going on in the world of pets.
I am your co-host, Emily Taylor, pet nutrition enthusiast.
And I'm Toni Shalasky, owner of Healthy Pet Products with 3 locations in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, and recently expanded to Port Charlotte, Florida. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to another episode of Toni Unleashed the Podcast. And today is Desoto's episode. And Desoto is my dog. He's a red heeler. He was rescued from Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in Utah, one of my favorite places on the planet.
Oh, the best in the
And
world.
you got to go and support Best Friends too. My boyfriend at the time, Bob and I had a blue heeler. And the weird thing was, I wasn't looking for a dog at all. My Meg had passed 6 months prior. And Bob said to me as I was walking out the door, if you find a red heeler, bring him home. So I happened upon a red heeler and ended up bringing him home.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was a weird, like, Natalie and I were sitting in the hotel room because my niece went with me on that trip. And I was just wanting to post our overnight dog because with Best Friends, you can have overnight dogs. And I was trying to get a picture. I don't know what I was doing, but I went to Best Friend's website, and the first thing that popped up on my phone was a picture of a fucking red heeler. And they're gorgeous. So I was like, Natalie, look.
Yeah.
And so I went to Dogtown and talked to my friend Deb, that's volunteer coordinator there. And I said, can I see Desoto? So we went to see Desoto. Wasn't going to cry.
Yeah, you even
And
said.
so I adopted him. And, you know, I always look for stupid signs, probably more than I should, and look into things more than I should. But my dad died about a year prior, and my dad was a car guy. So, and Desoto is an old Chrysler. I don't know if you guys realize that.
Right,
yeah,
right.
These two that sit with me are in their 30s. So, I'm old. But there was a Chrysler Desoto.
Wow.
And so I thought, well, maybe this is the dog.
Yeah.
So I adopted him. And so that was November of 2016. Switched him immediately to raw food. He was thriving for many, many, many years, but he was very much a challenge because he is a healer.
And you already had another healer.
And we already had another healer. And it was a lot. So, and then you guys have heard me in the past year kind of talk about his skin issues. So out of nowhere, about a year ago, right after Bob and Bo moved out, which I think was August of 23, Desoto started having really weird skin issues. So I switched him to a limited ingredient raw diet. I switched him to rabbit, which is a cooling meat. Did all the stuff, did all the supplements, da-da-da-da-da. Nothing was helping. He was continuing to decline. Licking and chewing all night long, constantly. Started to have hair loss. The tips of his ears got crusty. He'd have like this weird, like, you know, the shit our customers tell us about all the time is happening to my dog. And then the tip of his tail was all raw. I'd get that fixed. Another thing would pop up somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'd get that. It was just, he was a mess. So I finally went to the vet. And she said, I think it's food allergies.
Oh, we did. Yes, we did do an episode about all this. Last we had heard he was healing from mange.
So he was healing from mange.
So he was healing from mange.
Right. No, you're right, though.
This fucking crazy diagnosis of mange. And
Yeah.
like, how did my dog get mange? My vet, I've talked to 3 different vets, and they all collectively have like 60 years of service as a vet. Each one of them have seen like one case.
You're lying.
I swear to God.
Oh my God.
I swear to God, it does not happen
in Western
suburbia.
Yeah, or yes. Yeah.
So they all kind of were like,
what if it was that one time that Sid let him out, and
yeah,
then
probably.
and he found a rodent that he was going after that
All
had
my
mange,
fault.
and then his immune system depleted, and then that's when the mange kicked in.
You know what? Just fire me today. I'll be fine. I'll bounce back.
By the way, this is Sid.
Yeah.
Sydney is our executive producer and wears many hats in the world of healthy pet products and Toni Unleashed, and she is a part of this story about Desoto's story. And
jumping on today.
Yep.
But I call her Bosley from Charlie's Angels.
Oh, she's such a Bosley.
Never been on camera.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I mean, Dr. Nikki, and no fault to her whatsoever, she literally Googled how to treat mange, and the standard protocol is ivermectin. Nope, not there yet.
But we talked about that. Remember, we talked about ivermectin and getting it for people during COVID.
Yes.
Is Dr. Nikki at which vet?
Allegheny Veterinary Associates.
Right here in like McCandless.
Across from the Subaru dealership.
Got it. Yep.
She's been there forever.
Chuck's Auto Body.
And Chuck's Auto Body. Yes. So, okay. So Bravecta, he was healing. Everything was fine. But I still didn't, there was just little things that I just feel he wasn't totally right.
Yeah.
And his skin and coat didn't ever really get back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, I go to Florida in
from this point he was on the mend.
He was on the mend.
Yeah.
And I don't know what month was that.
When you went to Florida?
No, I know when I went to Florida, but when
on the mend.
When was he on the mend and on that Bravecta? I remember. So it's a once a month pill. So he had his first dose in November, second dose in December, third dose in January.
Okay.
So then I go to Florida January 30th, and Dee's fine. Okay. I don't kennel him. I use pet sitters. So my pet sitter, Jerry, was set up to take care of him. I was in Florida from January 30th to February 4th. And the day after I left, Jerry texts me and says, Dee's throwing up. I'm like, okay, let's switch him to a cooked diet. Do you mind stopping at the store? So we put him on raised right cooked and bone broth and Optigest, the go-tos for throwing up. And I gave him, which is stupid, 2 days before I left, I'm working with Scott Cunningham of Cunningham Meats in Indiana, and I gave him a bully stick that Scott had dried, and we're experimenting with some stuff. And I thought, well, maybe that made him sick, or there's an obstruction or something. But so nothing was working. The cooked diet wasn't really helping. Dee was continuing to throw up. So Jerry first called me on a Wednesday. Jerry's like, I'm still worried. I really think he needs fluid. I'm always not one to go into full panic mode, but he still wasn't good. So then Friday, Ashley came, and the vomit, like Jerry had to roll up all the carpets.
Yeah.
So Ashley is our buyer.
Ashley came and got Desoto and took him to the emergency vet. And they did x-rays and they did blood work. There was no blockage and the blood work was normal. And then she got her hand slapped by the vet for feeding raw food. So she said, yeah, well, that's not going to change, and left.
Yeah.
So this was not your regular vet she went to?
No.
Got it.
Safe
Okay.
Havens,
All right.
which is an emergency vet primarily. And of course, they gave him fluids. I mean, they were great, but
Sure.
she just got yelled at for feeding raw food. So they gave him fluids, and they gave him a shot of Serenia, which is an anti-nausea. So then everyone kicked into gear, including you, Sid, and I reached out to Lindsay, who's the assistant manager in Cranberry, because she does pet sitting and does overnights. So she came and stayed overnight with Dee Friday and Saturday night. because I was to get home Sunday. So he's continuing to vomit even from the injection of Serenia. He was okay for a little bit. But you guys were describing just this uncontrollable fluid and bile and awful.
Lots of drooling.
Lots of drooling and just
Not
uncontrollably.
Him. Yeah, wasn't him.
And he wasn't,
No,
he just wasn't himself.
Yeah.
So Lindsay came Friday night and stayed over. You all were kind of getting him to eat, but not really getting him to eat.
Right.
Did he have an appetite?
He still had an appetite.
So hungry.
Yeah.
The only way he could eat was we tried because you do the slow feeders or you do whatever the puzzle feeders.
Yeah.
That wasn't working. So if he was bending over,
he couldn't.
Nope. So I just started spoon feeding, and he would keep it down.
Sitting up.
Yep.
He was sitting.
He was looking at me. We'd be on the back porch. It was a beautiful day. I just gave him a spoon at a time. He'd eat it as long as his neck was up.
Huh.
And then he would keep it down.
So Sid came over Saturday afternoon and was here for 3 or 4 hours with him. Because Lindsay had to go to work. So that's, and then
Jerry came after me.
Jerry came
and
Saturday.
he just sat and hung with, I told him the whole story of, he's like, yeah, I think he just, is having some acid reflux, right? I think I got some Pepto in him or something. Yeah. But then what happened after Jerry? Like what?
Well, Lindsay came Saturday night.
Yeah.
And then she got him. She said he was settled most of the night. That he was kind of okay. Didn't vomit a whole lot. He's probably exhausted.
Yeah.
And then, well, at one point I remember you saying to me, well, he's super chill because you've got him on CBD, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, nobody has given him. And then you were like, oh.
Yeah. I go, I actually think he's all right because, I mean, at least for me, he was keeping the food down or whatever. And yes, he looked chilled, but I truly thought you were still doing CBD and that's all I accounted for. So when you said it wasn't CBD, pretty sure that's when I called Emily. I was like, and you were at that birthday party and I just kind of said, hey, I'm over here at Toni's. She's in Florida. Desoto's not doing too well. I don't even know how I put it. And you immediately called me and you were like, what are the symptoms? What's going on? And you were a little less positive than I was, but rightfully so.
It didn't sound good.
Yeah.
So he was okay Saturday night. Lindsay got him to eat a little bit Saturday morning, and she stayed with him after he ate. And she said that he kept it down and that everything was cleaned up. Everything was cleaned up. The house was clean. So I get home. She left at 8 a.m. I get home at 2 p.m. And when I came in, he was still laying down on the floor in the living room trying to get up. And as soon as he got up, he vomited.
And you said
there was vomit all over the house. All over the house. As soon as I saw him, I knew he was going to die. I did.
Literally, you had that moment that said,
that's so uncharacteristic of Desoto, though.
For sure. The happiest wiggle butt.
And normally at the window when I pull in.
Yep.
And
so you didn't see him at the window?
No,
that's a bad. Okay.
No. And then I let him out, and as he's walking down the deck to go to the side yard, he's just vomiting. I'm like, okay, we're getting in the car. We're going to PVSCC. The last time I was at PVSCC was with Meg.
Yeah.
And Meg died 2 days after that. So, when I went in, I said her name. Yeah. So anyhow, so we get there and they came out right away and got him, and I fucking hate.
Yeah, when they take him.
I hate that place.
Yeah.
I hate sitting in that lobby.
Mm-hmm.
So I sat outside. It was chilly, but it was sunny. So about an hour and a half later, they called me back and they're like, well, we don't know anything yet, but we definitely need to keep him. We have him on fluids. We have him stable, blah, blah, blah. And we want to do an ultrasound, and it was a Sunday. So he of course had to stay till Monday. So she said, but the ER vet, tomorrow she should call you by 10 a.m. after they do the ultrasound, which she did. And I have no complaints whatsoever. I literally was thrilled with how they did everything from beginning to end.
I mean, it's an emergency. I mean, they see the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
They
need to go into
But we
motion.
hear horrible stories too about them. So I think people go with unreasonable expectations.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're perfect either. You know what I mean? But
they're doing the best they can.
They're doing the best they can.
And they're dealing with people on the other side who are frantic, who are emotional, who are distraught. So they're not getting all the information.
For sure. And it's like therapy.
Yeah.
So anyhow, she said, I think he has functional ileus. And I was like, okay, I've never heard of this one. And she said your stomach stalls out. She's like, your stomach is a muscle, and this is always somewhat in motion because there's fluid in there, there's stomach acid in there, so it's constantly in motion. And she said the stomach just stalls out, like the muscle just stalls. And she said, we have a medication that we use. I'm like, you see this regularly?
Right.
She's like, I've seen I would say I see about a case a month.
Whoa.
For us to never have heard this is insane.
Yeah.
And she said 9 times out of 10, one dose of the medication and they're fine. She said, I have seen dogs have to have the medication continue. But she said, I think, everything else looks good. So I think that we have a chance here.
Is it like, I wonder if it's like a muscle relaxer that almost does the opposite?
It's the opposite. She said it's a muscle stimulant.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So mobility, she used the word mobility. Mobility medication, whatever that would be.
Mm-hmm.
And she was great. She was very, very, very good at explaining everything. Yeah. So she said, I'm going to do this, and this. And she said, I'm going to call you this evening. And she called this evening. And she said, everything's fine. She said, but he has developed a little pneumonia because he aspirated over the night. Mm-hmm. And she said, so I want to keep him one more night. And she said, but he's good. He hasn't thrown up. He's keeping food down. He's acting pretty normal. He's being a very good boy for us. And as long as everything's okay in the morning, I think that, you can take him home. So then, and this is the same vet Monday and Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And so then she calls me at 10 o'clock Tuesday morning and says, well, your boy is taking a turn for the worse. Fuck. Yeah. And she said it is not functional ileus. She said he started vomiting even on the Serenia, even with everything we're doing with them. He started vomiting again. So I did films again and I did more blood work. And she said, in comparing all of this, she said he has myasthenia gravis and he has a case of megaesophagus. So myasthenia gravis is an autoimmune disease that humans get and dogs get. I've known one human and one dog. And it literally is the central nervous system stops communicating with the involuntary muscles. Hence
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And I, of course, am at work in a meeting and I just, you just start fucking sobbing. And I went outside and, I've asked her a million questions. And then she's like, are you in the medical field?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, no. I'm your arch nemesis. I'm one of those crazy raw
You're
feeders.
Close.
And I own healthy pet products. And she's like, oh. She's like, I know. She's like, it's all good. She's like, you're good.
Yeah.
She was very kind. And she said, he is fine. I have him stable. She said, because she said, I've already consulted with Noro. We could keep him a few more nights. We could do this, and this. And I said, but with the megaesophagus, she's like, well, I'm going to have to get him off of the IV meds and onto oral meds. And so so Megaesophagus, the dog, always has to eat standing up or elevated. Is that the best way to say that? Yeah. Because they can't keep the food down.
Is there like a chair? Right?
Yeah, they literally have developed over the years, because Megaesophagus has become a little more prevalent. They have developed like a high chair type of situation where the dog,
it's almost like gravity has to be enforced
because the muscle's not working.
Right. So they have to be upright so that the food goes down via gravity versus using the muscles.
Yeah.
And working.
So
normally.
she said he would be on oral meds, which means I would have to give him oral meds, and with DeSoto's anxiety and stress level and just the way he is as a dog, there's no way there would be any quality of life.
Yeah.
And they would have kept him, and she said it would easily be $15,000. And I already had 5,000 in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So so I called Natalie.
And with the involuntary muscles may or may not working, you cannot predict what muscles aren't going to work and how much pain that's going to instill in him.
Yeah. Oh, he would have been so miserable.
Pain. Yeah.
I mean, you can't. Your involuntary muscles control your existence.
Lungs.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Heart.
He could have suffocated.
Yeah. No.
You can't put him through that.
And I knew that,
Mm-hmm.
but I think you have to like process the whole thing.
And it happened so quick.
Oh.
So quick.
So quick.
You were in Florida, and before you knew it, it was like you
Yeah.
couldn't
I
wait to
left
get
to a
home.
pretty much totally normal dog.
Yep. Yeah.
And 5 days later, so I get home Sunday, and then this conversation with her with the diagnosis was Tuesday morning, and then I went down and
what did Natalie say? Your niece?
we put him down right there. She just listened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But just talk. And I think I called Carolyn too.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, and dogs have the fortune of us putting them down humanely and without pain, and making that humane decision for them.
You did it alone, just you and DeSoto.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. They gave him a cake pop. They gave me a cake pop to give to him.
That's adorable.
Yeah. Did he eat it?
Do they really? And he ate
so
it.
Happy. Yeah. They brought him in on a stretcher.
Stop. And you gave him a cake pop.
And we got him off, and then I was on the floor, and he just crawled right into my lap.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nope.
And she brought in a cake pop, and he already had an IV in, or a PICC line in, so it was okay. But you could tell he had trouble breathing.
Yeah.
So,
Oh
and
my
you
God.
think that two things. You think because you've been through it a few times that it
gets easier.
Doesn't.
But it doesn't. And then
Just like so sad too. Like when he's just like so happy for like the simplest things, and he's in so much
All
pain.
he wanted
but
was
like,
a cake pop.
But like just seeing you and the cake pop brings him like so much joy, and like the saddest part of like it's so sad.
Yeah.
It is.
It really is. And
Because
then
they're just such like they're just so they're just innocent creatures who just find so much of their happiness and their desire to live because of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And he proved it there in like one moment before he passed of just how pure and innocent he is. Where like just seeing you and having something like a cake pop brought him so much joy in the midst of like so much pain.
And I'm going to be straight up. I haven't had to do it yet.
Same.
We're leaving town. You haven't had to do it? Oh, for God's
So I'm
sakes.
fucked. My ex-husband did it with my family dog.
Oh,
I remember
Marty.
that story.
Patrick did it with Marty. And nope, because my dad was he was a little too upset and didn't think. But it's very important, right, to do it with them.
Oh,
It's you've told me that before. It is the most important thing to do with your dog. It's hard, right? Did you do it with any of your family dogs?
yes,
Right.
everyone.
Did your parents come? Or well,
Princess, I wasn't with my parents. God, I called after, and my mother was like, "Why didn't you say tell us?"
sure, yeah,
No.
Okay.
Dave was with me with Princess,
okay,
and Meg was here at the house. I did her by
like a home. Okay,
because Bob wasn't here, and no,
I just wanna spit
they
out my wine.
deserve
Yeah.
to see you
As
for the last.
Yep.
They deserve that. Everything that they do for us,
Yep.
they
Yeah.
deserve that.
Yeah.
I don't care what it does to you.
Sure.
I
No.
will never speak to either one of you again.
She is so mad at us right now that we haven't even done anything yet. No,
I would never leave Sweet Pea
it's-
by herself.
No, oh my God. I almost want to
mean-
be there with Sweet Pea.
I will be there for you if
Yeah,
you want me
yeah.
to be there for you,
Ugh.
but God damn it, you will be there.
No.
And you wanted to do it alone, though, with DeSoto, right?
I honestly didn't even think about it. I
anybody
just went
else.
in.
Yeah,
I
I
just
got
got
you.
Person.
just
I
like
got
when
you.
I got
Yeah.
the call that my dad was dying. I just got.
Yep,
in my
you just got in the
fucking
car
and
and-
drove.
Yep,
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
Kelly was like, "Are you sure you're gonna be okay?" I'm like, "I will
I
be
have
fine.
to go.
I gotta go.
Yep, yeah.
Gotta
yeah.
go." So okay, so then I felt guilty. So a little bit of guilt because I felt relieved after some grief set in, because having DeSoto was a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was a lot alone too after
Yeah.
Bob and I split up. So it was a lot, and I love him. He loved me more than I loved him, and so I felt a little bad about feeling relieved
Yeah.
that he was gone.
Yeah.
But
I think that relief is freeing for them, though, because the amount of how much they love us and how much they give to us, like, they don't want that.
And they can pick up on it.
And they can
They
pick up
know.
on it.
And that
I
was
mean-
part of it when you were in Florida. I try to see the positive in everything. I'm like,
Okay.
I just think you're stressed about like you being gone. And that's what I think. And when I talked to Emily and you were like, Sid, this is more than that. This is not just,
yeah,
but he loved you hard. And
Yeah,
that
he
was your
really
little
did.
buddy. And right. I mean, like he followed you everywhere. The minute you got home, did he sleep in bed with you?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Slept
Mhm.
in bed with you.
Mm-hmm.
He loved all of us hard, too.
I know he was.
He loved people.
Yeah.
He really loved everybody.
Noah used to call him Risotto.
Mhm.
And he would stop skateboarding whenever you guys would walk by,
Mhm.
Yeah.
just so that DeSoto would be happy.
But
This
he
was-
hated other dogs.
Yeah.
And he hated movement, and he hated loud noises
And laughing.
and laughing, even laughing, loud laughing, even
He
if it
hated
me
that.
me
Yeah.
loud laughing.
Yeah.
He would be
He got-
like,
He desensitized to it a little
No,
bit
I
with
know
the
what you mean, though.
podcast.
Right.
A little bit.
He did get better at it, but yeah.
So then you wonder, is the mange, is there any connection?
Is that maybe symptomatic
Mhm.
of the underlying issue, which would be autoimmune?
right? Is that how he?
Because let's think about
oddly
it. Because
got-
skin is the major organ of your body.
Yep.
And if we're talking about involuntary movements of the involuntary motions and movements, that's muscular or cellular. I mean, it could all be symptomatic to one another. I mean, obviously it is immune system is the root of it all. But
we'll never know.
anomaly.
A total one. I mean, can there be any more rare diagnosis in
For
one dog?
The dog for you.
For me, of all
for
people,
who you are
right.
to have.
exactly.
That is the crazy part.
That
That's
is-
what makes it an anomaly.
Yep, totally.
Because you have a dog like Sweet Pea, who's classic autoimmune, classic issues. not going through all of that.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
So I am dog free, and honestly comfortable with it, and I just need to have a break for a while.
Some time.
I really do.
I think I'm
Yeah.
going to be like that too.
Yeah.
Now, are you taking him back out to best friends?
So yes, because any dog adopted from Best Friends, they have a beautiful cemetery called Angel's Rest.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
You overlook it, and
Are you kidding
everything
me?
is well maintained. Volunteers clean everything. You hear wind chimes. You go.
Oh, wind chimes.
There's hundreds of wind chimes, and you can.
It's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen.
You can be on the cliff above and look down, and you
Yep.
can hear the wind chimes.
Get out of here.
Yep.
It is.
It's the most serene, most peaceful, most calm you will
that's
ever be in
great.
your entire
Yeah,
world,
yeah.
like life, being there
Yeah.
in its presence.
Where they they just do some of the horses' ashes because they also they have horses there.
Sure.
So when a horse passes, where the horses are is a horseshoe shaped with each horse's
Get out.
name with the markers all in this horseshoe. Like you can't believe the things that they think of to memorialize these.
Make sure you take a
cre-
picture and we can share it on our.
Oh, I have pictures.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So Deb, my friend at Dogtown she got me the email of who I have to talk to about having I don't want all of his ashes there,
Sure.
but I'm
Yeah.
gonna definitely take his ashes there and have a service and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So Natalie was with me. So I think Natalie is planning on going with me. I think we're going to go in the fall unless I don't know when, but yes, we are
Sure.
going to do
Can
that.
I ask real quick
Mhm.
what Dogtown is? You've mentioned it 2 or 3
Oh.
times.
Dogtown is basically
Like the part
just
of
the
Best
head
Friends?
right.
Okay.
It's the
but
part where all the dogs are.
Okay, got it.
That's just
But they also
Dogtown.
have cats as well.
So they
we did a
have
whole episode on this. There,
they have
while we were there.
dogs.
The video though? Did you guys actually do a podcast?
We did a podcast.
We did the podcast.
Good talk.
Dogs, cats, horses, birds.
I knew about that.
rabbits.
You fired.
It's
Pigs.
It's
I
amazing.
guess I just didn't know it was called
Pigs.
Dogtown. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't get invited to these places, so
No, you do. You just don't want to go to the shows.
No. Oh, she does now.
I do want to go, but I'm getting
I
my
cr-
own room.
I mean, I
She is
cried
FOMO.
at the cat town.
Yes, I do remember hearing about that. We met after you got back.
Remember, there's a video of her sweeping, and there's a cat on her back, like crawling on her head. And shit.
That was right after I was crying to Ashley.
Yep,
made
and Ashley's like, yep.
she's like, not the person.
Nope. She's like, I don't do well with this, so
She's like-
move along.
She's like, cry to someone else.
yeah. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Em was a little bit moved.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that was the saddest and the happiest I've been in my entire
Good
life.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a turning moment.
Oh my God, she was so hot. She was on such
Yeah.
a high like I have never seen
Oh.
ever.
Yep.
Turning
I
moment.
pushed a cat in a stroller.
Yep.
What can you do?
Doesn't get much better.
She was so happy. She was over the moon.
Oh, I was the happiest.
over.
What was that thing that we circled in right above Angel's Bridge? What is that
Angel's
called? Rest? Where
Oh,
you
the labyrinth.
the labyrinth?
Ooh.
We were walking in the labyrinth
Yep.
right above Angel's Rest.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, this is the happiest I've been.
Ever in my life.
Mhm. Yep.
Gonna run away.
Yeah. Well, housing's hard there. So no. I asked a couple people.
Yeah.
There's
Don't
not
think
much.
we didn't talk about it.
There's not much.
No, there's not much. Yeah.
So did I remember everything?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think you nailed it. Desoto and you already mentioned this, but he is very much a part of every podcast recording we did.
Mhm. He was
He-
always
Sit-
here.
Yep.
If he was here, he would be on top of all of these cords,
Yep.
chewing his bully stick right
Yep.
now.
Yeah.
Bullies. I mean, and Bo was here too. I mean, it was funny. I feel like that was also part of what I had to do was shush them.
Yeah, you did.
That
Yeah.
was part of.
Yeah.
I kept them, and I think that's really what I mean. Not only what I had that relationship with DeSoto with Noah and being here, but also
Mhm.
once I started coming here for the podcast recordings, he and I had a We really saw eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
Got each other until I left him loose.
Yeah.
But all good.
Oh yeah,
He came back.
That is one symptom, one thing in the past year. He started being weird with bully sticks.
Huh.
Resource
Meanwhile,
guarding.
not chewing on them.
Oh.
Just had no interest.
And
I wonder
or-
if that had to do with something with like his.
like
A soft,
muscular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the other thing, and this was when he had mange, but his teeth would chatter.
That's also weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's all muscle
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Was he on the medication at that point, though?
No.
Oh, then
No.
that's yep.
Yeah, and he was drooling more than normal when I would prep his meals.
That's definitely involuntary muscle.
So in hindsight, but those are not things that
Sure.
if you would if I would have gone to a vet and said, I'm seeing this, this, and this,
Yeah.
there would have been.
It only makes sense now knowing what we know.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
only makes sense now.
Which is great for you to know to
Mhm.
help
Mm-hmm.
And why we're
all
telling
customers.
people too.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And-
So, any questions, feel free to reach out. We can be
Mhm.
reached at info@toniunleashed.com, or you can direct message us on Instagram, Facebook.
I think what the last thing I will say
Uh-huh.
that I think will bring this full circle is like, do not be afraid to come to Healthy Pet Products or
Yeah.
us with these random crazy
Mhm.
symptoms.
You
Like,
never know.
you never know.
Mhm.
We will hear you,
Mhm.
listen to you, and
Mhm.
even when we truly understand that you know your dog better than anyone else.
Mhm.
And so when behaviors change,
Yeah.
we know that you're the first person to notice them and that means something. It might not mean something detrimental. It might mean something small, something we have to change, but we know it means something.
And you have to trust in your gut
Yep.
and trust in the fact that you know your dog.
Yep.
And don't let anybody talk you out of that.
Yep.
So.
And all of us as employees have gone through something weird.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like all of us, literally in
Yep.
all 4 stores, we all have a story. We all have something that we can maybe help with. So
And if you're not in Pittsburgh, go to any of your independent pet
Yeah.
There
stores.
Yeah.
are so many out there that
Yeah.
have a similar heart that
Yeah.
Healthy Pet Products does, who care and only want the best for your dogs.
And you can go to indiepet.org
Mhm.
for a listing.
Mhm.
INDIE pet.org. That's an independent pet organization that is all independent pet stores. And I'm a board member, so that would be a way that you could find a local store in your area if you're
Yep.
not here in Pittsburgh
They're
or Florida.
everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yep.
This industry would not exist without independent retailers.
Right. It's true.
Yep. And people who care passionately about pets.
Yep. Well, thanks for listening,
Yep.
Sid. I'm excited that you were on.
Sid, love
Bringing it, Siggy sound.
for sure. We'll work on that.
Cheers to DeSoto.
Cheers to DeSoto.
Clink, clink.
DeSoto.
I feel like those were loud enough.
What a guy.
Cheers.
Bye for now.